Okay, there we go. All right, welcome to World Extermination Radio, the show where we talk about Doom and all kinds of stuff. And as far as the Doom community is concerned, I feel like there's kind of there's a lot of different groups of people. I mean, we have musicians, we have level designers, and most importantly, we have people that play Doom. And when it comes to people that play Doom, I feel like there's kind of like a bunch of different categories of people who play Doom. I would say there's probably like four of them. And the first group is like usually like the casual type people who are people who maybe they played some first person shooters from here and there, and they only know Doom because maybe their dad played it, and that kind of got them interested in video games in the first place. And then there's like more serious gamers who pretty much play every game that comes out, and they know Doom is pretty cool, and they like Doom for its gameplay, even though they probably play it with Brutal Doom and Project MSX and stuff. And then there's of course the more serious hardcore Doomers such as myself, who have pretty much been playing Doom their whole lives. But there's a fourth category that I consider to be pretty interesting, which is like the more deep part of the deep dark parts of Doom world, and that's the Doom Speed Demos forum. And these people are part of our community too, but they're probably some of the best Doom players out there, and I have one of them with me today, and that would be Looper. How you doing today, Looper?
Well, hello, nice to be here.
So speedrunning is a pretty awesome thing. I was actually just watching. We were talking about this earlier. Actually, I sent you a message where where there was like this battle between you and Zero Master, for beating the Doom speed record, and I actually just found out recently that Zero Master beat a new record about like 6 months ago, where he beat Doom 2 in 19 minutes and 28 seconds, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's I was really impressed because like I consider myself to be a pretty good Doom player, but I don't think I can beat Doom 2 in less than an hour and a half. So you've been playing Doom for a pretty long time, haven't you?
Well, I started back in 2009 with Legacy source, but I did play No Monsters only, and after that, like a year later, I switched to the vanilla Doom.
Wow, really? You started playing Doom in 2009? That was the first time you played it?
Yeah, not really very first, but almost first.
Wow, that's
like,
pretty crazy.
I did play it like back in 1996 or 1997 in Doom 95, but it was just casual playthrough.
That's pretty crazy, man. I would imagine that you were somebody who's been practicing this for so long, because I've been playing Doom for forever, and I still can't. Because I've seen some of your demos and recordings and stuff, and man, you are amazing. I just
thanks, but
I consider you to probably be one of the best Doom players like in the community today.
Well, thanks, but I have played a lot of first-person shooters, so it will get you good. It will give you quite a nice admin.
Yeah. Are there other like what other? I guess you've played. So what other shooters have you played that like do playing other shooters help you in playing Doom? Is it kind of do some of those skills like roll over in something like Doom?
Well, playing a game like Half-Life, you will find some cool tricks and bugs in the game. So I guess the mindset gets better for the Doom, because Doom is not very bug-free game.
Right. Yeah. So when you play Half-Life, do you speedrun Half-Life too, or do you only speedrun Doom?
No, I only played the deathmatch, and well, actually, I did try it once. I was like 12 years old back then, so I did speedrun Half-Life once, and it took like, I can't remember, 2 hours.
You were 12 years old back then? How old are you now?
Yeah, I'm 27.
27. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm 27 too.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so that's cool. I played Half-Life a bit when I was a kid, and I remember seeing videos of like Half-Life in half an hour, which was really cool.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, they do some crazy stuff in that game where they like, I remember this one part where they get like those trip mines and they put them on the wall, and they use them to make steps, and then you jump on top of this like the little trip mines, and you're just like tiptoeing across these little things. That's so cool that there's like those kind of like little tricks and stuff that you exploit. But Doom doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff like that. There's like some physics glitches that you can exploit, like gliding through those like little 32 width holes in the walls, and there's some other stuff like SR50 and like wall running and stuff. So what is it about Doom that's like particularly interesting to you?
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's quite a simple game, but at the same time, it is so unrealistic. Because I don't really like realistic games. I want to do unrealistic things like wall run. I think it's cool mechanic.
Yeah. I find that pretty interesting about Doom too, because like what I get like when I play like more modern games and stuff, there is like a lot of like realistic stuff, and there's a lot of all kinds of different little factors and things that kind of interrupt how you play the game. There's more things to collide into, and like with Doom, everything's like very clear and makes sense. Like all the walls, like there's no like invisible walls that you can fall through or something, or like little things that you can't see that'll block you. You can pretty much see everything in the game. That kind of makes it pretty important for something like speedrunning, I would think.
And the fighting is pretty nice because there's so many monsters around. There's no 1,000 monster levels in like new games with 3D models and so on.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
The monsters they're all sprites, so it's so easy for the computer.
Yeah, right. It's cool. Yeah, because I like that a lot about Doom too, because I remember like when Doom 2016 came out and people were like, I remember hearing like articles and stuff that were saying that there's going to be like hundreds of monsters on the screen, which obviously isn't true, because when you play the game, there's only like maybe like 10 or 15, but they move around really fast in such a way that makes you feel like you're fighting a lot of monsters, but you're not actually fighting that many. But with something like Doom, you can have hundreds of thousands of monsters in the map at once, and and we're lucky with like these like powerful computers that we have, that we can actually play a game that has that many live actors on the game, and like not make our computers slow to a crawl.
It's really good for the BFG because it's so powerful, so it doesn't take that long.
Yeah, that's right.
Like 1,000 monsters.
That's a good point. The BFG, because like there's not really a whole lot of other games that have a gun similar to the BFG, and mostly it's because there's really not a reason to, because most games only have like 5 or 6 enemies on the screen at once. So like you don't even really need something like a BFG to kill that many monsters.
I think the weapon is ridiculous in its power level.
Yeah, it really is. So I consider when I saw that Zero Master broke the world record not a few months, it was almost a year ago, I think, right? And it wasn't very long after that you recorded your own demo that was like maybe a few seconds faster. How hard is that to make a record? Like, what exactly is your like process when you're recording a speed run? Like, if you could break it down into like steps.
Well, I don't know if I break it on steps. I just back in 2010 when I wanted to beat Radek Pekka's 26 minutes 9-second run. I just wanted to beat it because it was lacking so many tricks, and so I thought tricks should be included.
Is it just practice basically?
Yeah, I started from map 1 and started playing, and once I find a spot that is really difficult, that it's not fun to practice from the map 1 all the way to the, let's say, map 24. So I got practice map 24 and
so you practice these individual spots. I remember seeing you have a Twitch stream, and I remember watching you for a little bit while you were practicing your Doom 2 run. And I remember seeing that like you would save during like a particular jump, like maybe like the jump in map 6 right before you get to the exit. And you would save, and you would just keep practicing. Even after you got it, you would just keep doing it over and over again until you got it like perfect, so you would get it every single time.
Yeah, that's the point, because you don't want to mess up the easy times anymore. But of course, sometimes you will mess it up.
Yeah, it's just kind of getting that like perfect routine. That's what's so compelling to me, because I'm such a chaotic like player. Like I'll improvise and like I'll let things go crazy and just see what I can do.
Yeah,
But
I know what you mean. I like it that way too, but the tricks they must
you got to
work.
get them perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fascinating watching you play, because I've never seen anybody play Doom with such precision, like trying to like focus on these particular things so perfectly. Like when I play Doom and stuff, I used to do what some people consider to be save scumming, which is where like you play through a level and then you save right before you pick up like a special item, because you know there's going to be a trap there. So like you'll save like right before right before you pick up like a soul sphere, and then you load the game like every time after the trap comes after every time you take a little bit of damage, because you don't want to get hurt. You want to make sure you do a perfect run. And
Well, I think it's fine approach, because if there's no real goal for the map, well, that's the way I play it too. Then.
Yeah, right. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like it's called save scumming because it's like kind of a slimy tactic. Like it doesn't feel like you're fairly beating the game almost when you compare it to something like when you do like a pistol start run where you're trying to beat the game with no saves or something. That's a little different.
Yeah, but I guess some of the maps are not that fair anyway, so it's fair to use save load also.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's yeah, I mean there's all kinds of levels that have been made, and some of them are just way hard. Do you
Yep.
do you play I know I've seen your speed runs of Doom 2. Do you play like other WODs around the community and stuff too?
Not that much. I have been playing Arch Invasion on multiplayer lately, but nothing else.
Just multiplayer. So do you play like deathmatch and stuff?
Deathmatch, just a bit.
Okay. So like what multiplayer do you play? Do you play like in a cooperative and stuff too?
Mostly survival with one life, or maybe three if it's Zulax, because Zulax is one of those unfair ones.
Do you play it on so you play survival? Do you play it on Z Demon?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I've been wanting to get into the more multiplayer Doom lately, but I haven't really. I just don't have like I don't know, maybe I don't have time for it or something. I don't know. I'm a busy guy these days.
Well, I think the Z Demon is pretty fun, because you don't have to commit so much time on one attempt. I mean, if you play survival, it could be like 20 minutes, sometimes 1 hour, so it's not that much.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I should probably get back into that. I used to play survival all the time when Skull Tag was around, and I don't know. I kind of like stopped. But I don't know. I play a lot of single player too. I mostly there's so many like Doom mods and stuff that come out all the time, and I'm always trying to keep up with everything that comes out. There's just so much to play.
Too much for me.
Yeah. So, but you play mostly Doom 2, huh? So I guess you. That's interesting. You must know the Doom 2 levels much better than anybody else does. I don't really know the levels myself. The last time I tried to play Doom 2, I tried to play it all in one sitting, and I think it was about like an hour and 15 minutes into it where I died on map 19 to a crusher. It was
I know the crusher.
Yeah, it's the one
river.
in that big red building. Yeah, there's that big red building with the crusher, and like I thought I knew that was there, and I stopped the crusher, but I didn't know that there was a line that you could trip that would start the crusher again. I thought it only stopped, and that was it. And I tripped it again, and that's what killed me. But yeah, I don't know Doom 2 that well. I mean, I've tried. I did try doing. What's really amazing is people who actually beat Doom 2 all in one sitting without even dying. That's like one of the most. I can't even do that, because especially like the first like set of like the first few maps, like the Focus, for example, is like loaded with chain gunners and shotgun guys and stuff. It's almost impossible to get past.
Map 2 is really crazy actually to speedrun. It's good that it's the second map, but sometimes the luck is not for you there, so you just die so fast, even on easy level.
Yeah, that's what's fascinating about Doom, especially because of how heavily you have to depend on RNG, the random number generator. Yeah. Oh, that's when it gets like really crazy because sometimes it's sometimes like if you play a map and maybe like the only shotgun in the map is one you have to get out of like a shotgun guy's hands. So you have to kill the guy. So you have to kill him with the pistol. And sometimes like they'll die in like 2 shots, and other times they'll die in like 4.
Yeah.
And like just that little bit of time, they'll like get a shot in on you and do like 80 damage or whatever.
Yep, it's true. Sometimes they just shoot you twice immediately, and you lose the exit hit points. There's nothing you can do about it.
Does that drive you crazy when you're doing a speed run? Because I was watching
sometimes, yeah.
I was watching a speed run today. I was watching Zero Master's newest one where he beat Doom 2 in 19 minutes and 28 seconds. And I saw up to the point where he got to map 31 Wolfenstein, and that's just hit scanners everywhere. And I can imagine and he just barely made it. He got to the end of the level with like 31% health, but like I don't think there's anything he could have done. He was just going as fast as he possibly could, and you basically just take the damage you can take. There's not a whole lot of control you have there.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. You just hope you don't die, and if you survive, you're just fine then.
Yeah, it's just crazy when it's crazy that like Doom is speedrunned as much as it is, considering how much well, it really doesn't have that much random number generation involved with it. I mean, there is a little bit when it comes to like killing monsters, like some monsters, like
yeah.
Like if you got to kill like a Mancubus with a super shotgun, like sometimes they'll take 4 instead of 3 hits.
Yep. That's the worst case or the worst target.
What are some of
I think the worst thing is the Revenants, because sometimes they shoot normal rockets with 10 damage, and sometimes it's 80 damage with the homing missile.
Yeah, that's a crazy range.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, it's really unfair. It's I always thought when I was a kid, when I first played not when I first played Doom, but for a long time I didn't even know about random number generation. I thought the amount of damage that you took from a fireball depended on how fast you ran into it, which would be a kind of a cooler thing. But it would also be more dangerous when it comes to speedrunning because you're going to be moving as fast as possible anyway.
That's true.
But yeah, like there's times where like you take like 10 damage from a Revenant missile, and then other times where you take like 90. It's really unfair.
Not 90, because 80 is the maximum damage. But
80. Okay.
Close enough.
Yeah, but what other things are probably the most annoying when you're speedrunning?
I think failing a trick is quite annoying.
Oh yeah.
Especially after heavy practice. I haven't speedrun in a while, but when I did speedrun, I had this very bad keyboard. I couldn't press 3 keys at the same time, so
I had a keyboard like that once.
Really annoying to set up the tricks.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Like if you're trying to make a jump and then you have to, and like Doom is like really punishing that way, because like if you fall somewhere, you usually have to fall into a pit, and then you have to find the stairs out of it or the teleport out of it, and that can add way more seconds than you intend.
Or map 24, if you fall, you will die.
Yeah, that's really punishing. So what maps do you think are the hardest to speedrun in Doom 2?
Well, if you want to really rush map 2, I think that could be one of the most difficult ones. And then there's the map 22, the Catacombs, which is quite a hit-scan-based. Map 23, Barrels of Fun. The barrel jump is quite annoying at times, and if the barrels explode, you have to rocket jump over. Ooh. So you don't lose too much time. And of course, map 24 is really punishing if you fail it. So I think map 22, 23, and 24. Those 3 maps are the worst.
Oh, that's bad because they're like right after one another too.
Yeah, it gets really. I don't know what's the word for it, but it's
yeah, but it's so late.
Nerve-wracking.
Yeah, exactly. It's nerve-wracking. It comes so late in the project, so like, or not in the project, but in the whole map set. So like, if you beat the first 20 some maps and then you get to like the 3 hardest ones at the end, oh man, I can't believe that's got to drive me crazy.
And after map 24, it gets like a bit shaky because you're past the 3 maps, so you still have to beat like 5 maps. So
yeah, it's not over yet.
Yeah. Okay, map 30. That's a really hand-shaking map because of the 3 rocket strat. So.
What is that? The 3 rocket strat? What is that?
You just try to kill the John Romero in 3 rockets without using the lift twice, so you don't lose 15 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty difficult at the end of the run.
Yeah, it just requires a lot of precision, and like after you're like, I can imagine like after you get past like 23, 24, and you're just like, oh man, finally, you want to like relax a little bit, but you have to like, that's what's so crazy about speedruns is because like 19 minutes is like not a lot of time, but it is a lot of time to be like ultra focused the entire time.
Yeah.
Because I get distracted so easily. Like even when I try to like speedrun and like I haven't really tried that hard, but usually when I do try to speedrun, I get carried away. Like I want to kill the monsters or something, or it's just like it's really hard to like stay focused for me. But speedruns are like so amazing as someone who is both a player and somebody who likes to design levels. Like watching speedruns is really amazing for me because I like to think that I'm pretty good at Doom, but when I see these speedruns, I'm like, oh, there's definitely room for improvement. and then when I watch these demos of people playing Doom 2, like I don't remember the maps very well, but it's interesting to watch people beat them so fast because you see like the exact objectives of each map. Like you have to get this key or you have to press this switch. You know what's important.
Yeah.
Because like Doom 2 has like a lot of the levels are kind of like non-linear. They're kind of sandboxy, and it's not always clear exactly what you're supposed to do. You have to kind of explore and figure it out. But when you watch these speed runs, you watch this very straight shot. This is the absolute fastest way of beating the map, and they just follow that exact path.
Going between weapons or so.
Yeah, and when it comes to like, there's even some maps that are like later in the map set, they only take a few seconds to beat, which is pretty crazy. Like Courtyard is like really funny to me because like the keys are like they're like kind of hidden, but they're not difficult to get to, so the map doesn't take very long to beat.
I was just thinking about it because that's probably the only map that I don't know at all. I only know the key and the exit.
That's so funny. So you don't really do. So do you play Doom casually, or do you only like try to beat the game as fast as humanly possible? Because I would imagine that like considering that you've done these runs already, you're just kind of like used to playing Doom in a certain way.
Well, it depends a bit what I'm going to do. Like sometimes I could play it a bit more casual, but it's most of the time like finding new tactics and better routes and so on.
Yeah, that's right. I remember
like the map 18 Courtyard. If I would play it like now, I would probably play it because I would like to UV max it and nothing else.
Yeah. I remember seeing this one screenshot you posted where you said that like one of the things you enjoy about Doom especially is like finding new places where you're not supposed to go.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
That's pretty cool. It's I don't have much experience like kind of like exploiting like physics glitches and stuff in Doom. I mean, there's not really that many to exploit, but what are some maps that you like to play that you found places that like what are some examples of places that you found that were not that you were not that you knew you were not supposed to get to?
Well, it's the screenshot one at least. The map 19 near the red, actually inside the red building where you could cross it. You could glide near the wall, and only then it's possible to wall run over.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
One of the long jumps and make it to the place where you are not supposed to be.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I saw like I remember you posted a screenshot and you found like this place that was near the set of stairs. I don't remember what map it was, but you found like this window.
Map 90. It was the place where you got crossed.
That was the one? Okay. That's pretty cool. Have you found I remember asking this question. Somebody raised a question I think on Doomworld forums where they were trying to someone was asking if there were places that you can get stuck. Because there are like some people. I think the guy he was playing a Doom WOD, and he found a place where he could like a door would shut but it wouldn't open, and then he got stuck in that room, and the only way to beat it was to quit. Are there places like that in Doom 2 as well? Are there places that you can get stuck and definitely like break the map?
Yeah, map 8 tricks and traps. You can get stuck to the yellow key room if you you get to the room with the Cyber Demon and the Barons of Hells, and you open the door with the switch, but then you run behind the door so that you close the door before it's fully opened, and
and that causes the door to stay closed.
Door is closed, yeah, but the switch didn't reset or so it will be stuck.
Oh, are there other examples like that too? Are there other places where maps can break and you have to like? Because that's got to add like another element of danger when you're trying to beat Doom as fast as possible, not actually like breaking the maps.
Well, I can't remember any other place.
Okay, so most of the time it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty fine most of the time.
Okay, well that's good. That's cool. I try to when I design my own levels and stuff, I do try to like be conscious of speedrunners and stuff and like places that you can get stuck. Like I remember I was working on a map for this project I made called Mutiny, and this guy that tested the map found all these places where an arc vial could blast you out of the map. That's such a tricky thing, is like having to be like considerate of all these like crazy scenarios that can happen. That because like there is like a whole host of different things that can happen in Doom that just kind of cause a map to behave unlike what you expect.
Yeah, it's usually the Archwell that will break them up.
Yeah, the Arc Vial does all kinds of crazy stuff. Are there any times where you use an Arc Vial to help you get past a part in Doom 2?
Yeah, but the jumps are not that good for the D2 all run, so they're not that used. Like in map 20, the Gotcha, there's actually a nice jump into lava area, but it's so unreliable, so it's
because it does a lot of damage, right?
And map 27, it's the Archwell door trick. So that,
that's so funny. I love that trick.
That's really stupid trick.
Yeah, it's my favorite. I love telling people about that part where you get the arc vial to open the door for you so you don't need the key. That's amazing.
Yeah. Then there's the two small tricks in map 28 that lets you skip the like 3 seconds of the map if the Archwell attacks you immediately, and map 25 exit room has one tiny Archwell jump too, but those are kind of useless.
Yeah, they're very specific situations, so they're not always useful.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. So when you does playing Does playing Doom as fast as you can, does that like help you in other things that you try to do, like outside of Doom, like in other games maybe, or like other projects that you work on? Is like speedrunning, like studying the Doom maps and stuff, is that kind of like helpful in other things that you do?
I guess it helps if you want to play some other games better, like let's say deathmatch or survival or speedrunning. Of course, it should help because you have the mindset.
Yeah,
Ready.
right. It kind of like when you're speedrunning, like you kind of have to have like this ultra focus kind of like you're almost like you're just in the zone when you're playing. And
Yeah, when playing, but at free time, it's good to just imagine if you could do something crazy like new trick or
yeah.
I don't know.
So hmm. So when you're speedrunning and stuff, so like how so you do a lot of practice, of course. Do you spend a lot of time like actually studying the map like in a map editor or like in
Yeah, I do. I just want to make sure I don't miss any tricks or cool setups or something like that.
That's pretty cool. Do you think that like Doom 2 has been pretty much explored as much as it can possibly be explored?
I'm pretty sure there are some tricks that are not discovered yet.
Oh yeah, you think so? So like what if
Yeah, well, I might know one trick at least that should help me a bit, but I don't know.
okay, so it's so what is this trick? Are you willing to talk about it, or is it like a secret that you want to keep away from other people?
Secret.
It's a secret. Okay. Okay. So like what are you looking for when you look at these maps? Like like what exactly? Well, I guess you have like a set of tricks on hand, right? So you can think of like there's certain jumps that you can make. There's places where you can do glides. So is that kind of what you're looking for in the map? Are you looking for places that you can that maybe you could jump that people haven't thought of before?
Yeah, I check if well it's let's say
it's hard to talk about because it's something that like you're just used to doing.
It's quite difficult to tell because everything is related to everything. Because if you are going north or east, you can use the wall run to make double the distance.
Yeah, right.
And if you're going south or west, you can do glides much easier. But at the same time, you can't make so long jumps.
So like okay, you can it's easier to wall. What would you say? It was easier to wall run if you're going north or east?
Yeah, you can wall run only north or east, so it will make the jumps like a lot longer.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought you could wall run south and west too.
Well, on Source Sports you can, but not on the original.
Oh, okay. What Source Sports does that include? Because I usually play with PR Boom. Does that include?
I don't actually know. I just played vanilla.
Oh, okay. So what exactly is like vanilla Doom? Like what source port do you use?
Well, I used the vanilla Doom under DOSBox.
Oh, you play it on DOSBox. Okay.
7.4.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I guess CN Doom and Chocolate Doom, Crispy Doom, they're just fine. And Beer Boom is fine for most of the people, but I don't like it at all.
You don't like it, really?
Yeah, the Doom guy feels really heavy, and the mouse is something strange.
Wow, that's weird. So I guess that's like a very specific. I've never really noticed. I played PR Boom a lot, and I can definitely tell the difference between something like GZ Doom and like Z Doom and stuff. But I didn't really. I don't know. That's interesting. So he feels a little bit heavier.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt like the Doom guy had eaten too many hamburgers or something like that. I don't know.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I never really noticed that. I'll have to check it out though. So CN Doom, that's competition Doom, compet and Doom.
Yeah.
And that is basically, I guess that's just. Do you notice any difference between that and something like?
I think it's the same as Chocolate Doom, but it has some speedrun options.
Oh, okay. So like it's not. Is it like pretty? Okay, so it's like the same as Chocolate Doom. So how different is do you notice any difference between like Chocolate Doom and like playing Doom on DOSBox?
Well, I guess the resolution. That's all.
I'm sorry, what? What is different?
The resolution.
That's the resolution, yeah. Okay. I guess there are these like little minute differences and stuff between source ports.
Yeah, but I can tell you, I don't play that much of Chocolate Doom or CN Doom. It's only the DOSBox or Zedge Daemon.
That's pretty cool. Huh. So I wonder, I don't know. It's really fascinating though that these like source ports and stuff are very different, or not very different, but different enough that you can like really notice these differences. Because I always
that feels.
Yeah, because people will like, there's people that play GZ Doom all the time, and like when I watch them play, I'm like, you're not playing the real Doom. It's not the real thing. Like like when people are like when they jump or they like go over or under monsters and stuff, and it's like I know it almost feels like they're cheating almost. I mean they're not.
On some maps, it is quite cheating to run over monsters.
Yeah, I mean they're not cheating, but it almost feels like it to me because I know that if I were playing, I wouldn't be able to do something like that.
Yeah, it's not really comparable.
Yeah, I don't know, but because like it seems like everybody these days are playing GZ Doom, and I understand why because it's probably the best looking Doom source port that we have right now, but something about that, just like when people are like when they jump or crouch or something, when I see that, I'm just like, oh, you're not playing Doom the right way. I'm just like, I'm so stubborn that way.
I think jump is fine in some. Was like the one what I'm playing on Zed Daemon. It has some nice jumping mechanics. So you have to like dodge some rockets that are coming towards you. So you jump over them and so on.
That's pretty cool. Is that like a jump based type map set? Because I've seen like rocket jump projects, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Not rocket jump, but regular jump.
Oh, okay. So like, is this like
it's like Super Mario Doom?
Super Mario Doom. That's funny. So like, is it what is this project exactly? Like, what are you doing in it?
Well, you start
like
from easy room, and then you try to jump over some rockets and try to kill all the monsters in the room, and then the next area opens. And
okay, so is this something that you would play in survival?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm playing.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I wasn't sure if you were talking about like a player versus player type game mode where you have to like jump over each other's rockets.
It's kind of player versus player because you get the winner is the one who gets the most damage. So if you want to clear the monsters fast, you have to kill them so you get the most points.
Oh, okay.
But it's risky with many players because sometimes there are some trolls and sometimes they just accidentally block you to the rocket and so on. Yeah,
right. That's a thing that comes with playing on multiplayer because I know because I used to play survival a lot, and one of like the biggest, like the most annoying things for me is when you would play like a WAD that was designed, like a mega WAD that was designed for single player, but you're playing it on co-op. So you have like all these narrow hallways and stuff, and and people will be carrying super shotguns and stuff, and if there's no friendly fire, you can't kill each other. But what'll happen is like because the walls or like the hallways are so narrow, people will like kind of form a line, and basically the guy who's in front of the line is the one killing all the monsters, and everybody in the back just has to wait. So what'll happen is like maybe the guy behind will try to shoot over the other guy's shoulder, and he'll hit the guy and just send him right into like a whole group of monsters, and then he'll get clawed to death by hell barons.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It happens quite a lot.
Yeah, and it's like that's exactly as bad as having friendly fire on anyway. So you,
Yeah, I guess.
yeah, that was an annoying thing. I try to consider that in my own when I design my own levels because I had a lot of fun playing multiplayer and like playing like survival and co-op and stuff like that. So I try to be considerate of that kind of stuff, like designing levels that have multiple different ways in and out of each way, out of each room, to kind of make them
I
more
have
like
made
dynamic and stuff.
I have made a couple of maps myself for the what I'm playing on online, but I think the maps do teach you how to map because you have to consider the amount of players, so you can just make the narrow hallways and or something like that.
Yeah, it's hard to be like kind of considerate of all that stuff. I didn't know you made maps
Yeah,
before
it's
though.
true.
Did you ever release them?
Well, they are in the Archwell Invasion, so I have made 3 maps or 4 maps now.
Do you make maps that only you can beat?
No, they're difficult, but
Yeah.
Well, there's actually one map that was deleted because it was too difficult, but I don't think it was that crazy because I tested it once and I did get past it, but I don't know.
Yeah, there are like there's plenty of people in the community that'll pretty much beat anything. Like there's some maps that I thought were just like definitely impossible, but like I've seen people do. I mean, I've seen people do all kinds of crazy things. Like Bloodite Crypto is doing. He's been winning like every one of those of.
Yeah, he's really good survival player.
Yeah, he's awesome in the what is it, Alfonso's Iron Man challenge. He's been winning like pretty much every one.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he does some. It's just he's such an amazing player, and it makes me think that like there's pretty much you can pretty much make any map as hard as you want, and somebody will be able to beat it.
Yeah, you get motivated because it's like a prize waiting for you because no one has beaten it. It must be beaten.
Yeah, yeah. It's. Do you think that's true? Like, do you think there's any? Do you think it's possible that there's no way that any map can be pretty much impossible as long as there's a way to the exit?
Well, yeah, but I don't think there are fun maps at that point anymore.
Yeah, I guess that's important, is making them actually fun.
Like Chillax is on the edge of the difficulty because sometimes it's like, nah, it's not really possible, but after a while of testing it, you might find something cool.
Yeah, it's extreme. I mean, I've seen YouTube videos of people beating. There was this one map. It was called Super Nib. I don't think it was in Chillax. I think it was maybe in like Slaughterfest 3 or something. And okay. This map was just unbelievable. I think it was Time of Death who made it, and it was just monsters everywhere. There's literally like there's no point on the ground where there's no monsters. But you start with a BFG. You start with a BFG and you start with a Megasphere, and there's other Megaspheres on the map, and you just watch this guy just mow down monsters with the BFG. And I don't know how he does it because every time I play it, I die in a few seconds. It's just crazy.
That's fun part of the Doom because, like we said before, you can't do such maps in Doom 2016. Too many monsters.
Yeah, it's having all these monsters at once, and it's just the idea that like almost nothing is impossible in Doom. That's what's really impressive to me.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much. I mean, there's such a high skill ceiling. There's people that are like there's some people that are just way better than others, and some people are maybe they're really good at handling lots of monsters at once, or maybe they're good at speed running. So like I guess it seems like there was like a little bit of a debate on Doom World, where people were talking about like who do you think is the best Doom player, and that's a tough question to answer because there's a bunch of different skills involved with Doom.
Yep. There's like the speedrunning aspect, there's the slaughter map skill style, and survival. There's just poor movement and so on.
Yeah, there's like all kinds of different management type of skills, like having to whether it's like dealing with many monsters at once, or like killing as many monsters without taking any damage, or just beating a level fast, or I mean or just being good at deathmatch. And all these skills, they're all like they don't really translate to one another. Like if you're good at one, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be good at the other.
Yeah.
So I consider you to be like one of the best Doom players, but I think it's because of speed running. Because I don't know if I've seen you. I don't. Well, I don't know if I've ever seen you play deathmatch. And but I.
I actually did play against Sedla some deathmatch
yeah?
in Doom 2 map 1, but it's not that fun of an experience to play someone who has played the map 20 years in a row.
It wasn't fun for you? Is that what you said?
Well, it was fun. It was fun, but you know, it's not that fair of a match.
So what would happen? So what was happening? Were you talking about map 1 entryway?
Yeah.
So what happened? Like, what did you So you were playing against this guy, and like, what was going on? How was he? How do you think he was beating you?
Well, he has so much experience with the map, so he knows what the noobs are doing with their time. So he just always knows when I take a peek from the corner and instantly shoots my face.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Is if you're playing against monsters, I mean, monsters are dumb. You know they're going to do the same thing every time. So like, if you're really good at deathmatch, you can see somebody and pretty much predict what they're going to do, and that way you can destroy them.
Yep.
It's crazy how that works. I've never really been that good at deathmatch. I do like to play it from time to time, but I like to play with like a lot of people because that way it's not as easy for me to look bad when I play against, like, if I were to play against somebody in a duel and they destroy me, it's kind of embarrassing.
I know what you mean. I've been playing some free for all on the multiplayer server. I talked to you about, but at the same time, I think it gets a bit too chaotic with the small maps. Like, there's 24 players in map 1, 2, 2. So
yeah,
it's way too chaotic.
Yeah, it gets super crazy. I remember the last time I played deathmatch was in Otimex Saturday Nitro, and there had to have been like, I think there was like somewhat of like 28 to somewhere between like 28 and 35 people. There was just so many, and we couldn't find a map that was big enough to support that many people because it was just so crowded and everybody was dying in 1 second.
It's crazy. If you get the BFT, it gets even.
Yeah, and
it's pretty fun.
Yeah, and some guy will get like a rocket launcher and just shoot rockets across the hallways, and there's no way to get through.
Every rocket hits.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But yeah, there's all these different skills and stuff when it comes to something like Doom. Do you have? I mean, you do a lot of speedrunning and stuff, and you're pretty in tune with the speedrunning community. Do you have like a favorite speedrunner?
Well, I would say the Finnish guy Ocelot, or how do you pronounce
Ocelot?
it?
Okay.
Yeah, and Sedla, of course. Those two are my favorite speedrunners.
That's pretty cool. Did they do? Have they done like some runs that were like so impressive that you don't think you could do it, or do you? I don't know. Like, do you?
Well, I think the Sedla's map 24 in 33 seconds was something.
Whoa, that's pretty crazy.
Really nice. So it was a really nice run, and the text file was something amazing too. So I just really wanted to test myself if I could beat it, and I did.
Oh, so you did?
I was really happy. I was really happy about the run.
Wow, what was your fastest time on a map 24?
32 seconds. It's still the record.
Whoa, that is amazing. That's a huge map too. Well,
it's one of the favorite Doom 2 maps for me because I don't know. It was like, well, the 33 or 36 second run without the jump. Well, it was pretty much the best run of the year back then, and I really wanted to test my skills against the old schoolers.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, map 24 is like pretty awesome because it's got like all those jumps and stuff, and it's like a very big map, but it's not very complex. It's just got a lot of like fun stuff that you can do on it.
Well, it's the narrow ledges that usually people hate them up because of those. But...
Yeah, because it's so punishing when you fall down and you have to look for a teleport.
Yep. And of course, in individual level run, the run is already over if you fall down.
That's pretty cool. So like in the speedrunning community, has there been like a lot of growth? Are there like new people playing like doing speedruns now these days?
I think there's quite a lot of new players. They just come and go. I don't know. There's like 10 new Russian guys every weekend. Some European players and sometimes from the US. I don't know.
Okay, so a lot of people come and go. Are there some guys who've been sticking around for a long time?
Yeah, I guess like Zero Master has been like 5 years now, and Elins, and so I don't know. Those are new guys.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's yeah, I've only noticed Zero Master recently when he broke that Doom 2 record. But yeah, it's I don't know, I just haven't been paying that much attention to the speedrunning community, but I would imagine that more people were I thought that like the community had some like pretty long lasting members.
Yeah, it has like Buncher from the 90s just showed up in the forums too.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw some of his posts recently. So he was from the 90s?
Yeah, he was one of the best runners in the like 1996 or 1997, and he's still here.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Huh. So, that's pretty cool. So, would you say that you would want more people to play do more speed running in Doom, or are you okay with like how it is?
I guess more people is always fine. It gets
because like the competition gets higher.
The competition isn't that high at the moment, but except with Doom 1 and Doom 2 records. That's why I mainly play those ones.
Yeah, I can imagine. Do you as a speedrunner, do you you said you don't really play that much stuff that's in the community. You're mostly focused on stuff like Doom 2. Is there like a reason for that? Does it just take a long time to speedrun stuff?
Yeah, it takes quite a lot if you really want to optimize something, but at the same time, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe the competition was already set there, so it's fun to beat times that are actually good. So you really have to do something about it.
Yeah, right. So I'm a level designer, so like when I try to make maps and stuff, and I like to consider like what speedrunners would like to do, and I guess that's not always easy to do if because I mean there's so much stuff coming out anyway. I guess speedrunners aren't going to like play every single WOD that comes out and try to beat the records. I mean, unless I guess I don't really know for sure.
Well, the most fun is to break the whole map, like finding an exploit so that you can skip like 3 keys or 2 keys or anything like that, or just get out of the map and hit the exit switch from the void. Okay,
so that's like kind of your goal when you're playing a new map, is like you're trying to figure out how to break it.
Yeah, that's the most funny, because it's like outsmarting the mapper. Because if you're thinking too much about the speedrunner and you give them shortcuts like arc wild jump, you don't really discover the trick yourself, but the mapper let it there.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, because like I used to think, for a while I used to think like, okay, if I want like speedrunners to like try and play my map, I should probably make these like special like jumps and stuff that are like just barely. But I feel like you're finding it more interesting that a level would maybe not account for these types of things, and then you would find them accidentally, or like maybe you try to find them, and then that lets you break the map.
Yeah, it's fine too. It's nice to find the tricks by yourself, because sometimes, like I think it was Plutonier Revisitor that has a lot of those tricks that are known by the mapper, but I don't know, they're not used by the speedrunners.
That's interesting. So like if I were to design a map and I created a secret shortcut, would you like not have any Like, would you not get much enjoyment out of finding it because you knew that I put it in there?
It's okay sometimes, because sometimes the map is so cramped or something like that, so that you have to kill like 1,000 monsters because there's no shortcut. But I don't know. It's.
I'm just asking from your opinion. You don't have to like speak from other people's perspective, but
it's my opinion. It depends heavily on the map, because I don't know. Sometimes I don't like it. Sometimes it's fine.
Okay, I had this one this map that I was working on. I never released it, but I had this one map this one time where I created this place where you could only make this jump if you did an SR50 jump, but if you went for the jump, it would trigger some lines which would cause some arc vials to appear later in the map. So like it would be a shortcut, but it would also be a trap that would like mess you up later on.
I haven't seen such shortcuts yet, because I don't play that many much, so I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah, I don't know, but like now I'm thinking about it, I guess it's kind of unfair. But I guess that's like kind of, I don't know,
I can't hear you at the moment.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you're speedrunning, I guess like part of the enjoyment is like making the map easier too, right? Like if you're, I don't know, like I guess you don't want the map to be harder if you're like trying to find these particular like shortcuts and stuff.
Well, I think it depends a lot of the mood. Sometimes you want to make short run. Sometimes you want to make a long map, and sometimes you want to make a movie run. I don't know. It just depends on your mood. Sometimes it's fine. Sometimes I don't like it.
Yeah, I guess like what I was trying to think is that like maybe it makes more sense that if you find a shortcut, if you're able to break the map, you should be rewarded for it. And and that reward can be, well, most of the time the reward is just saving time, but it would be cool if you could like maybe it could be like secrets and stuff too, like finding a special item or a weapon you're not supposed to get yet, or something like that.
Yep.
I don't know. It was something I was kind of like considering while I was mapping, but I guess it makes more sense now that I'm talking to you about like, because I didn't really know at the time what speedrunners really wanted, but now that I'm talking to you, I guess it makes more sense. Like people are probably playing the same maps over and over again and trying to beat those times instead of playing new stuff all the time. But I guess that's not always true for everybody. There's people I've seen. I mean, I see the new threads come up on the Doom speedrunning forum every once in a while, where like a new megawatt will come out and people will post their demos. Do you do much like UV max demos, or do you mostly just do speed?
I think I like UV Max a lot more than I used to, because when I started to play Doom, I didn't really like it because it was so chaotic to play UV Max. But my movements sucked, so I really wanted to be better with that one than take the Doom to world record. And after that, I think I started to like UV Max a lot better, because I knew how to manipulate the monsters around and how the BFG works, and so.
That's pretty cool. So, I see from my experience, I play a lot of Doom mods and all kinds of like Doom maps and stuff. And one thing I've been noticing lately is that people are using more and more monsters and making their maps harder. Is that kind of like putting a damper on the speedrunning scene? Because like if there's so many monsters and stuff, usually it's almost impossible to get through an entire crowd of monsters just because the maps are so crowded. And
I think
in something in something like Doom 2, the monsters are more like spread out almost. So like there's a lot more space to like move around and find things and stuff like that. You don't really see that as much in mods nowadays that are pretty. I mean, we were talking about slaughters earlier, which are good, but some people just make like a normal map, but they crowd them with monsters anyway because they're inspired by these Slaughterfest type projects, but they don't really know how to make what it takes to make like an actual slaughter map where it's like more of like a puzzle. They just kind of make like a normal map and then put tons of monsters in it. So like I kind of feel like that might be kind of detrimental to the speedrunning scene almost, because if these maps aren't very easily speedrun in the way that's fun, like where you're actually like finding the shortcuts and stuff, and instead you're just kind of like powering through all these monsters that are in the way. That's not really fun, right? Uh-oh, what happened? Oh no, I think Looper got disconnected. Sorry, folks, we're gonna figure some stuff out. I don't know what happened. Conversation was just getting good too.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
I guess the Discord crashed or something like that.
Oh, well, that's okay. I'm glad you're back. I was nervous for a second. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. As I was saying, I was wondering if, because I've been kind of concerned lately that people that are making maps, they tend to go pretty crazy with the monsters, and I think they're inspired by like Slaughterfest type maps like Chillax and like the Slaughterfest series, and like maybe they're inspired by stuff like Sunlust and Ancient Aliens and stuff. So like people will make maps that are like kind of designed not like slaughter maps, because slaughter maps have kind of like an arena like symmetrical kind of shape almost, where they're more like a puzzle. Yeah. And then so what they'll do is that some people will make just a general, like just a normal map, but it's really big and has lots of monsters in it. And I wonder if this is kind of detrimental to like the speedrunning scene, because like if you're trying to like speedrun a map and there's just monsters in the way all the time, that's not really fun, right?
Yep, because you're just, well, it's basically the same as UV Max at the same time. Like if you want to UV speed a map, I don't see the point of the UV speed if you have to kill like 90% of the monsters anyway.
Yeah, because at that point the speed is just how fast can you kill the monsters, and that's not really fun.
Yep. It's fine for the UV Max, but not for the UV speed.
Do you think it would be fun if there were more maps that were like less monster dense and maybe had more like jumps and tricks and stuff that you can do?
Well, that's the point, because the Plutonia Revisited was pretty much that kind of what, but at the same time, I don't think I found that much of enjoyment out of the tricks that were already put there. So I don't know. It's difficult to make maps that are accidentally broken.
Yeah, right. Like when it comes to like I know people said like, have you ever played Killing Adventure?
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah, I've heard people say that was like the best map set that was like accidentally good for speedrunning.
Yeah, I guess.
So like I wonder like how it's weird, because like if you're a level designer and you're trying to make a map that's or make maybe a map or a set of maps that's good for speedrunning, I wonder how you even do something like that. Like what is it?
I think you shouldn't overthink, so that you can accidentally have shortcuts around the maps, so you don't just place the shortcuts around.
Yeah, right.
The speedrunners found.
But that's what's crazy, because I'm a level designer and I like to make stuff, and that usually involves a lot of planning, and so I'm trying. So I'm trying to think how it's even possible that I could make a map where I actually allow accidents to happen. And it's like it just, as soon as I know about the accidents, that's when I feel like I should be doing something about it. Or
yeah, same thing. I know what you mean, and I think the only way to make well, I can say for others, but I think the only way to make good speedrun maps is to be bad at Doom, because you can only break the maps that way.
That's great advice, Looper. I'm sure everybody's gonna get worse at Doom so that they can make better speedrunning maps. I don't know what to do. It's just it's such a complex thing. I I'm not sure.
If you don't know about wall run, you can think that okay, you can make such a jump, so I can just tease the player with like annoying distance of gap, but with the wall run you can jump over it and so on. So if you don't know about the wall run, it's fine.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like, so my mapping ability as far as making maps that are good for speedruns has been contaminated because I already know about this stuff. So
yeah, I guess, but I don't know if everyone agrees with me, but I think it's a lot more fun to actually break them up and not just use the tricks by the mapper.
Yeah. It's. I can't really. I'm trying to like think of some ideas in my head of like how I can make this better.
It's like outsmarting the mapper. That's the point, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I guess that does make sense because you're okay. Okay, so like, I can't think of like I'm like at a loss for words because I'm trying to think of advice to give to new mappers and like how to make a map that would be fun for the speedrunning community, and it's.
Well, I would say that just don't overthink too much. It's fine to think about that the map is somewhat fixed, or how do you say it? But
broken. So right. Yeah. So like like community projects and stuff we have in the Doom community. Usually when we do projects like that in the community and we make a bunch of maps, there's usually like a playtesting team that looks for errors to make sure that things don't break or that the map doesn't get stuck and stuff like that. Do you think maps would be better off without that?
Probably yes, because the playtesting, it will just remove all the cool tricks, or you will find some game-breaking tricks that, well, it's fine to fix the bugs that
like
really
to be clear,
stuck.
Right, to be clear, it's not that like we would want to like make maps that are intentionally bad and leave them bad, but like so like when it comes to like maybe like visual errors, like if there's like those Hall of Mirrors effects where it doesn't look good, or maybe if there's like a place that you can actually physically get stuck and break the map, that would be a problem too. But as far as like finding, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to like. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say because it's it kind of depends on what you can figure out as the speedrunner.
Yep.
I'm just like really conflicted because I always felt like as somebody who's a level designer, I'm always trying to appeal to the most amount of people, and this is like one of the most complex subjects that I've ever tried to like design a map for. Like one of my projects was UAC Ultra 2, and one of my ideas for that project was I wanted to make a map that was compatible with everything. I wanted to make maps that were you could play them in all different skill levels, including Nightmare, and still be fun. And they would also be deathmatch compatible and compatible with cooperative too. But if I'm trying to make something that's for speedrunning, it would it would just like all that extra thinking that I would put into the map that's kind of like eliminated for that particular group of people.
Yeah, it's really difficult to make. I don't know. It's quite a random what is like it and what's not, I guess.
So, like in your experience, you've played a lot of Doom 2, and you played the other iWads and stuff too, right? So you've played Plutonia and TNT and stuff.
Yep.
Which one do you think is the most fun to speedrun? Out of the iWads.
Actually, I think Doom 2 is the one I have played the most, but I don't know. Plutonia could be pretty fun too because it has so many tricks that are not meant to be.
So okay, so you've played Plutonia before, but you consider Doom 2 probably the best?
Well, I haven't speedrun Plutonia, so I don't know which one is better. But I would guess maybe Plutonia could be better, but I don't know. I don't know.
So like, have you played So like, what WODs do you think? Okay, like maybe second. Like, what would you say was like second to Doom 2 as far as like being the most fun to speedrun? Have you played other WODs that you think would be good for speedrunning? Besides, like maybe besides the like out of the. I'm sorry, I'm like wording this terribly. Like let's say that you had to pick like a user made PWOD, like maybe like a classic megawatt or something. Which one do you think would probably be best for speedrunning?
It's difficult because I don't play that many different parts, but what is it called? Site? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Site, yeah.
SCYTHE.
Yeah, that's it. Site.
To pronounce for me.
Yeah. English is a weird language, but yeah, Scythe is pretty good. Yeah, because like Scythe does have like stuff that's like kind of because like Eric Alm was a speedrunner when he made that map set, right? Do you know Eric Alm was a speedrunner, wasn't he?
I don't know.
I think he is. I know I've seen like some of his demos on the Doom Speed Demos forum, but yeah, I don't know. But I know he's a really good player because he makes really hard maps, and I don't know. This is like
I'm not that familiar with the community, to be honest.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. I'm trying to like get. I don't know. This is never. I don't think I've ever encountered something that was so complex to wrap my head around when it comes to mapping. Because usually when I find some kind of a problem in a map, it's something that I play that I don't think is very fun. I can find a way to either design the map better or like move the monsters in such a way that makes it more fun. Like I can pretty much figure out everything to make like a level design good. That'll be fun for everybody. But I've never like I haven't really talked to anybody who's like a speedrunner. You're like the first person I've had on this show that's like actually a speedrunner, and it's like interesting to hear your opinion when it comes to like what makes a good map. And what you find particularly fascinating about something like Doom is being able to exploit things. And as a level designer, that's
something I really enjoy.
Yeah, so like as a level designer, that's like tricky for me because I don't want to make something that's like too obvious of an exploit that where it wouldn't be fun to find. But at the same time, I want to appeal to somebody like you who would be interested.
I know
in something
what you
like
mean.
That.
It's difficult because I think the best way is to not think too much about it.
Yeah. I guess that's all I can do is like try to kind of eliminate that particular thought as I'm designing the level, and just kind of like whatever happens and just leave it in.
Well, of course, there are some things that you can think about, like if there's a part with, let's say, 1,000 archvals and you have to kill them all so that the exit opens. I don't think anyone would.
Yeah, nobody would think that was good. Yeah. So have you ever played Doom the way it did?
Just a bit.
A little bit. Did you
Yeah.
I feel like as a speedrunner you probably know the Doom 2 maps like really intimately. Do you think that that like Doom 2 the way it did was like kind of on point, or do you think there were some things that made it different from Doom 2?
Well, actually, I haven't played that one.
Oh, okay.
That much, only the Doom 1, the ID ones, or whatever it was.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So, I don't know. I'm kind of assuming that like you probably analyze these things in more detail. But I don't know. If you don't, that's okay. But like it's as far as like I don't know. I assume that speedrunners probably know maps much more intimately than someone like me, because I just play through stuff. I don't really study the maps like in an editor and things.
Well, I just look at the maps like if there's something to exploit. I don't really know the item placements and so on. Maybe sometimes because you can pick the items through walls and so on, but it's just a quick glance through Doom Editor and see if you can pick something. Like BFG grab through a wall, or I don't know.
Well, that's cool. So like, what do you? Let's say, I'm trying to think of like a random scenario. What maps do you think? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of like some maps that have like pretty exploitable tricks in them. Like, what are some tricks that you look for when you're playing a map?
I will look at the bars so that like if there's a bar with red key required, like Doom 2 map 21 Nirvana.
Yeah, like those blocking bars.
Okay, I will look at the bars from editor and see if you can get past them without the keys.
So you try to get past them like with a glide or something, or?
Yeah, or high momentum or speed. Okay,
so that's one thing that you're looking for is those bars. So like, what are some other things that you look for? Like maybe particular, like
very long jumps and maybe arch whiles if you can make even longer jumps. And rocket launcher is a good way to reach the exit sometimes.
Okay.
What else? Maybe wall run. And it's good to know where is the direction to north or south. Like, you really want to know.
Yeah, okay.
What is it called?
Okay. So like I keep getting myself in like this conundrum where I'm like trying to be like I'm working on a map set right now, and I'm trying to think of like ways that I could make it more fun for speedrunning, but I'm doing exactly what you said not to do, which is to think more about it. And
it's fine. It's not that serious.
Yeah, I know, but like I do like to. I do want my maps to appeal to as many people as possible, and your opinion is like very, very. It's interesting to me. So like I try to like think of these ways where I can make it pretty fun.
Oh, one of the things I actually check first is the exit switch near the outside of the map. Like if you can get outside of the map, is it possible to hit the switch?
Oh, okay. So like if you were to like void glide and be able to hit the exit switch from outside the map.
If the exit button is activatable from the void, I will try to find a spot.
That's ridiculous.
That's the very first thing you should do.
Do you ever have you ever watched Awesome Games Done Quick or like Summer Games Done Quick?
Yeah. So,
yeah, you watch those?
Yeah, like every year from 2012. I don't know.
Have you ever thought about competing in one of those?
Yeah, but I think making a long trip from Finland to US is quite expensive just to play the game for 20 minutes and then go back to Finland. So I would have to plan like, I don't know, 1 month trip around the US or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how something like that even happens, because they do get some people that are like from around the world. But I guess like I think it's kind of unfair, because it seems like some of these people are they're regular like Twitch streamers, and they get like donations and all kinds of stuff like that. I know you have a Twitch channel, right? What's your Twitch channel? It's twitch.tv/.
It's Looperkele.
Looper. Okay, so how do you spell that? Looper.
Let me type it.
Well, I wanted to say it. So okay, Looperkele. Okay, I just wanted to say it so that people know who are listening could find you if they want to listen to, or if they want to watch your streams. Have you been doing much streams lately?
No, but I was thinking if I should stream the multiplayer a bit.
That's a good idea.
I think it's fun at times, but at the same time, sometimes it's. I think it's a bit boring, because if you die at the start of the level with 1 life and the map takes like 30 minutes, I don't know.
You just watch other people play.
It's that, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing that always drove me crazy about Counter-Strike. My friend is like he's a big like Counter-Strike fan, but I was always
I used to play the CS 1.6.
Yeah, you used to play too. Yeah, I used to. I played it a little bit, but I was never. I got into the game like really late, so the other people that I was playing against were like way better than me. So every time I played, I would die like 10 seconds into the game, and then like these two, and they were like at the very end, there would be like maybe 2 or 3 guys left, and they would be like really like creepily skulking around, and they were just like so good at avoiding taking damage, and you would just sit there and watch them play for like a good 10 minutes, and I would always die in like 10 seconds. So most of the time I was playing the game, I was just watching other people playing instead of actually playing the game.
I know what you mean. It's fun to watch others play the games at times, but sometimes it's a bit too much if you're dead for a bit too long time.
Yeah, well, you watch like speed demos and stuff too. So like, is that that's part of like that's part of your enjoyment of Doom, right? Is like watching other people's speed runs.
Yeah, I do watch them, but not that much recently. So I'm not familiar with the 1928 from Zero Master Age.
Well, honestly, neither am I. I just found out about it recently.
I did watch the 1936 or so, but not the very latest one.
Do you think you could beat that 1928?
I think it's quite beatable.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I guess it's possible if you really want.
So what was your fastest one? I forget what time your last Doom 2 demo was.
Well, the fastest I have uploaded is 21 minutes 55 seconds, but I actually did make it in 20 minutes and 30 seconds, or was it 20 minutes and 29 seconds? But I did have a couple very fast runs that were almost.
That's pretty cool, man.
Almost under 20 minutes, but then I had to take a break and like 1 week break. And
yeah, that's right.
Zero Master took the sub 20, so I haven't played after that one.
I bet it gets exhausting doing speed runs, because like sometimes when I play like a really hard map, I'll get like sweaty while I'm playing.
Yeah, same.
Does that happen to you too? Do you get like really nervous sometimes?
Well, sometimes you have to concentrate so much. Like map 24 is one of those maps where you just concentrate all the time. So after a while, you just sweat so much.
Yeah, but like so you need a lot of concentration for something like map 24. But you've done like the other maps, of course, like hundreds of times too. So like I guess like can you like go on like autopilot and just like blast through the maps?
Sometimes you can go to the autopilot. Well, the autopilot is a bit difficult at times because sometimes it just falls apart and then you are like, oh fuck, I'm moving my hand.
Yeah. That's funny.
Then you just fall and die. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't imagine like being that focused while playing Doom at this it's just like like playing Doom that fast and like being so alert and focused. Like that's something that's so bizarre to me. But I guess
after a practice it gets a lot easier, but
yeah, but that's what's so impressive about it.
It's not easy.
It's just like the dedication of doing that much practice and like being that good at one particular map set. That's what's so impressive to me. So that's really cool, man. I'm glad you were here on the show and telling me about all this cool stuff. It was interesting to hear your opinions. It's really fascinating. Well, how diverse the community is and like how like what people are interested in as far as like what they like out of Doom. Like some people like the music in Doom, and some people like the level design, like I do. Some people just like playing it, and other people like speedrunning it, like you do. And it's just it's cool that there's like all these cool people playing Doom and exploring all these cool concepts and stuff. And it's I was real. It's just really. I consider you're like one of your I consider like the speedrunning community to be like one of the most like obscured like parts of the community, because like they're not like you mentioned earlier that like you're not that involved with the rest of the community, like the rest of it is just like not interesting to you at all.
Yeah,
like as far as like the everything else forum and stuff. But it's still cool that like you're just as interested in Doom as everybody else is, but just in a different way.
Just a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, are there some other things that you wanted to talk about on the show before we wrap this up? Is there like maybe like do you have any like plans for the future like that you plan to do with Doom, like as far as like maybe streaming? I'm sorry. Do you have any plans for like the future as far as like maybe streaming or like what else do you plan on doing with Doom?
I don't really know at the moment. I'm just uploading some multiplayer action to YouTube. That's pretty much all the Doom stuff I'm doing at the moment.
Oh, okay. So do you okay, so like multiplayer stuff. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, like free for all and sometimes survival and that kind of stuff.
Do you do other stuff outside of Doom?
No.
No? you just do your own thing and
well, I do study a bit, but that's pretty much all.
Well, that's me too. I go to work. I have a wife that I hang out with, and besides that, it's pretty much just Doom. It's pretty much my whole life. But it was a lot of fun talking to you, man. I'm really glad to have you on the show.
Yeah, it was nice to be here.
Yeah. So if you want to be on the show again another time, that would be great. Maybe we can get some other speedrunners and stuff to talk about the speedrunning community too.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. All right, well, thanks for being on the show, and thank you everybody for listening. If you want to get in touch with Looper, he's on Doom World forums, and you can also find him on Twitch, twitch.tv /Looper, LOOPER KLE. And so follow him and follow this channel on Twitch. I'm twitch.tv /J_40OZ if you want to listen to more episodes of this show, if you want to listen to them live. Or if you want to find other episodes that I have, you can find them on YouTube on World Extermination Radio. Just search for that on YouTube. You'll find them. And thanks again, Luca.
Actually, I don't stream that much, and I think my YouTube channel is a lot more better if you want to watch my content.
Okay, what's your YouTube channel?
It's, let me write it.
Okay, it's MITTARIMATO. That's Looper's YouTube channel, so you can check that out. He'll be uploading some new videos of multiplayer gameplay and other stuff that he feels like uploading.
Yep.
All right, cool, man. Thanks for being on the show, Looper. I really appreciate it. That was awesome.
Well, thanks again.